Aloha, and thank you for joining our conference call. It's been a little while since we've done one. I apologize. I've been in a bit of a retreat here after having been on the road for so many years and changes that have gone on recently on the planet. Things it's been more conducive to being more in a retreat type zone. So in any event, we're glad to be here and to touch in and want to send love to everyone. And with all that's going on right now, a lot of things happening on our dear planet. For starters, for folks that are new and anyone who has been with us for a while, go ahead and drop in to Stillpoint. A lot of the things I want to cover, a bunch of things today. For people that have been with us for a while, you'll find many of the things going on right now, at least how we're responding to them, dovetail in or coordinate into a lot of the different trainings and things we've been covering for years at our seminars and retreats and conference calls, trainings and retreats. So first and foremost, as always, everyone take a nice moment and drop in to Stillpoint, space between the breath. It's right there. It's always there. For folks that are new, if you haven't done with us so much, take a nice breath in. Stop right at the top of the breath. A little space between the breaths. Stop there and hold. Kind of feels like holding the breath. Yet don't hold the breath. Just kind of drop here. It feels like holding the breath. Let the breath keep going like it does when you rest. Yet you stay here in this space between the breath. For folks who are new, try holding a thought or an emotion while you're resting here. It's not so easy. This is a neutral state. I can't say this enough, that whatever's going on, to me this is like the quintessential state of retreat. So when I learned from yogis and mystics, and the whole approach of how I navigate my experience here on this planet is been conditioned in large part by the yogis and mystics and that I had the blessing to interact with. And the yogi I learned from a lot said that the key thing that we have here on planet Earth is our attention. And so in every moment we get to choose what do we want to put our attention on. When we have our attention, it's such a blessing and a gift to have our attention. And being very delicate and precise with what we put our attention on. So many people, the yogi would say that many people on this planet their attention's going out and onto the things, the physical things, the things they want, the relationships, the jobs, the houses, all the different things. Or even emotions, or even things going on in the brain, in the psyche, in the psychic area. All those are things to the yogi. And so yogi I learned from said the key every day would draw the attention from those things and bring it back. And so to me that's the practice. That's what I do every moment in my experience here. And when things happen and kind of knock you around, then you just reset. And I use Stillpoint as a way. Everyone again take a nice breath in, stop right at the top. Hold. Breath keeps going, yet you stay here in space between the breath. The more you do, you can do at the top of the breath, at the bottom, or I don't use the breath. For me, I just kind of, it's like a lens on a camera. I just tune it and hold here. So when we drop in here, what we're doing is we're collapsing different states, and we're coming back to this state of coherence and integrity. It's a retreat. It's bringing our attention back from all the outer things, even from the outer in terms of the physical world, also the outer in terms of the outer layers of the physical, the emotional, the astral, the psychic, or the causal. Those are all those are the states that people often put their attention on things. And it's good. Things are great. I don't mean to. This planet's lovely. There's so many amazing things. Yet, put your attention on and then bring it back. You don't want to keep your attention on things that are there. Then going to. In other words, you only have so much attention, right? So it's like a bank account. If you have a bank account and there's tons of things pulling at it, Yogi I learned from would often say, everything in this world wants your attention. Be clear, everything is wanting attention here, for the most part, unless people are in their own state of being. And then they're not interested in other people's attention because they're tapped in to the inner vast ocean of consciousness and being. All right, so good. So I want to cover some things. There's so much to cover. So for starters, anybody that has laser, we're going to cover, or if you have lasers or pads, we have our new scalar pads, which are delightful for those of us that have them, and we're getting so many testimonials from them. So if you have your pad, lay out the pad. If you have a laser, take out the laser. As with all of our trainings and retreats, and we're going to cover protocols along the way while I kind of thread through some of the things, what's going on. For starters, right now on the planet is a very, very profound moment I've been discussing for years. For years I did a call more often every week, or even, and what I covered was the shift into the new season that we're progressing with here. All the ancient systems understand it. And while some years back there was a big moment when everyone said, oh, the shift, the reality is the shift is ongoing. And there's a lot of tough moments going on. From my perspective right now, we're in a very profound kind of micro moment of little progression of transformation and transition. And it's important. I want to really reference right now, and part of I have been a little, with all the things going on, I'm a little tepid or reluctant to say too much about things because people are all processing what's happening in through their own lens, through their own experience, and everything. There's no right or wrong. There's no black and white. It's not like that. It's a dynamic, and so it's important that people understand that. Right now we're going through a series of, we were in this strong period for a while, and that shifted a while ago, and now it's very strong, and yet we're in this transition of these of a bunch of eclipses, which in astrology circles and people who are into this kind of thing, it's very powerful transformation. And so our planet, there's these. It's almost like, from my perspective, the old structure. I've said for years, we have these old. If you have laser, by the way, turn on laser and simply pick a program, and you can put on Unwind. If you have Lotus, put on Unwind, and just pick. We're just going to go through and pick one program. You can do it over the adrenal glands, which I'm doing right now, and it's delicious. It's lovely. If you have a pad, lay the pad out. You'll see the little knob that comes out where the probe plugs in on the pad. Anyone who has a pad, the burlap, the beautiful brown burlap, we have very unique fabrics in the pad, and the burlap goes on the bottom, and the soft purple velvet, all 100% cotton. There's layers of bamboo and ormus and all kinds of nice things in the pad to help induce stillpoint and activate coherence, which to me is the key right now, right? To me, it's like the old season structures, dimensional structures, society, economics, all the structures from the old season right now are literally coming, like they're unraveling. And so the key right now is not having the answer, trying to convince someone else, or even, I don't even entertain a whole lot with other people right now. Right now the key is holding integrity of coherence and being. If a building's coming down and you're there, what's the goal? Is the goal to stop the building from coming down? No, it's coming down. Or is it to hold it up, or is it to make a new building? No, the key goal is to hold coherence and integrity of your condition and being. Good. Right there, if anyone could feel that, we kind of shifted and landed in a still point. So you can move to the other adrenal. We're going to move through some different protocols. If you have the pad, you lay the pad down. You can put it on a massage table or a sofa or a bed or anywhere. And the probe connector part goes at the bottom. So if you lay face up on the left side, your left side laying face up, the probe connector is best at the bottom left, on the outside of the left side of the body, on the bottom. You plug the probe connector in. It looks like a probe tip. It's not. The probe connector plugs into that. And you plug it into the laser or the Lotus, and you pick a program. You can start with Unwind and turn it on. If the laser light comes out, that means it's not plugged in properly. So plug in, turn it off, plug the probes in, the probe connectors in again, and turn it on again. The pad is a way it uses unique scalar circuits. It's different than a lot of the other pads that are out there, which are using electromagnetic. They're using magnetic resonance or magnetic technology. This is not using magnetic technology. We're using scalar technology. Scalar is the opposite of magnets. Magnets are the energy between two poles. Scalar is energy without any poles, neutral. All right, good. If you're on the pad, we have many people there. So try Unwind. Now, if you're using the laser, I just changed the program. You might try changing to quantum. Every so often I'm checking in, and I was doing Unwind. It felt good, and then I said, let's change to quantum. And as soon as I shifted to quantum, I felt my body. The way you can tell what program to use, it's kind of like watching a remote, right? If your TV, if you change, you go again. When you find one you like, you take a breath, you take a sigh. That's your cue. We call it Stillpoint response. When you pick the program that induces an opening, a dissolution into more space, that's the right one. So just go through on the pad. I can't tell you, I've heard a lot of people say they tried the pad with this, and then a lot of people respond beautifully on Unity and on Wave. The benefit of the pad is it decompresses one's entire. The goal of the pad is to dissolve unwind the cranial rhythm. It's designed to unwind the cranial rhythm. And induce still point. It also is really nice at strengthening the quantum field, which is the key. To me, the key is to have strong energy, coherent, strong energy that surrounds the body. That's how you stay strong right now with everything going on. I've said for years, for people that have come to our seminars, everyone go ahead, take a nice breath in again, and stop right at the top of the breath. Good. I've said for years, for people that come to our seminars, I always like to keep a space around, we do practice at retreats where I have everyone walk around and keep the quantum field, which extends 5-10 feet around the body. When you drop in and you open, the more you hold in still point, the quantum field opens. And so it's really good right now to stay present and conscious of the quantum field as you navigate around situations. And so good. So with I've gotten a fair amount of requests. I'm going to try to dial in several different strands of. I've gotten quite a few requests. By the way, I'm now on the tailbone. So I'm doing 3 key points to start with: the adrenals first, then the sacrum, tailbone, and then I'm going to shift to the occipital ridge. So just keep, if you're using a program or you're on the pad and you're not sure if the right one's, left arrow, scroll down, pick a different program, try a different one. I kind of go around a lot between unwind, quantum, activate, unity. So I've been getting quite a lot of requests about how we're approaching supplements and things right now, and I've been, again, tepid about giving out protocols. I typically don't ever give out protocols unless I've experienced something directly. So a lot of people came out early on with this situation going on right now and started throwing out all kinds of things to take and like this, and that's not my approach so much. So, but there are definitely some key things that I want to kind of walk through that are very helpful to be doing right now. And so I look at it as basically there's several kind of layers to, and this applies to any pandemic, to what's going on right now or any other kind of situation that's going on. And so to me, there's kind of 4 key layers to it, right? The first layer is making sure your quantum field, the space around you, is purified. And so for the most part, we use a spray that it uses food-grade hydrogen peroxide. And we've been considering making it. We've given it out a lot, and people, it's nice because you can spray it in the face, but we don't use 35% food grade, not regular hydrogen peroxide, food grade. We bake it down and add some other things, some essential oils, some grapefruit seeds, some aloe, and to a point where it's really strong. It disinfects everything. You can spray it in your face. You can take it internally. We just spray it around, mist it around after we're out around lots of people or what have you, or out and about, or what have you. So that's the first thing, is keeping. You can also put this formula in a little mister, keep it in spray bottles, or we put it in aloe and you can rub it around. It's all kinds. So we may actually start making that available if there's interest, if people have interest. So that's the first layer, is keeping and I've been saying this for years, not so much with sprays, and the Ormus sprays. We had a little Ormus spray also. The Ormus sprays I'll touch in a little bit later, but they're the same thing. The sprays that we made are high-spinning ether Ormus in another state of matter, and they're designed to spray around the field to keep the strength. A lot of people right now their fields have been conditioned by the chakras, and in particular by physical, emotional, astral, and psychic energy. And right now, it's really key to strengthen the quantum field with the fibers, not really the right word, the subtle, the energetic state of the quantum field with very, very stable energy. And that's where the Ormus sprays come in. And I'll touch a little bit. The way that we do the Ormus sprays, there's 4 of them. And the way that we do it is you can drop in Stillpoint, and you take one spray and just simply hold it in your hand. Or you can do one spray. I spray them at the top of the crown, the top of the head. Or you can hold it for a moment, and if you notice you drop into Stillpoint, then that's the one. If it's not, put it back, take the other one, the next one. Hold it. If you have sprays, you can do it right now. Take the next one, hold it. If you feel you drop into Stillpoint, that's the one to do. If not, go to the next one. I use Stillpoint response for everything in my life. I use it. I always, when I make decisions and pick what food or where I'm going or what I'm doing, I just I don't even really do it. It happens naturally, where I'm looking to what things do I want to associate with, whether it's a supplement, whether it's whatever it is, a program that I'm doing, or a food to eat, or a person to interact with, or anything, how I build the technology we build. I'm looking for what things dissolve and drop me into a state of Stillpoint, and the energy of the universe. That to me and beyond. That to me is what I'm attracted to. That's the mystic or the yogic play of attention, So see which one if you hold it and you can tell. If not, do a spray. The one that's like, that's the one. Then you spray that in the lotus. You can spray it around the field. You can spray it in a tub. You can spray it on anything. You can spray it in the mouth. I spray it in occasionally. It's not designed as a supplement, but it's sprayed everywhere. Spray it on your animals. Spray it in your room. Spray it on. It's fantastic stuff. The Orma sprays, and it's designed. Both the scalar pad. Scalar pad is designed to unwind and drop into Stillpoint and open the quantum field, and it's got circuits designed to activate the scalar energy along the spine, the nadis, or the medical symbol, the scalar energies along the spine, as that to me is key for helping to stabilize people as we're entering the new season. Most people's attention is coming down the body and out through the chakras. Yogi I learned from said the key is to reverse those sensory currents so that the energy is not bleeding out through the chakras. You want energy to be naturally rising up the central column, the staff of life or the medical symbol, and activating the glands to activate a state of consciousness and longevity and being and all kinds of nice bliss and nectar and nice things. That's the key. As the building or the structure of the previous season comes down, we want to stay rooted in the essence of being, and help in that way help express new reality and expression for the new season. At least that's the approach that I. So everyone take a moment, drop in. So that's a little bit on how to use the pad. It's a little bit on how to use the sprays. And once you pick one, that might be one you use for a little while, or go back, try again. It's designed to condition, like the scalar pad, designed to condition the scalar flow of energy along the spine. The pad is designed to open up. The sprays are designed to open up the lotus at the top. All traditions refer to a lotus at the top crown, and we want to open that. As that lotus opens, it helps. It also, and to strengthen the fibers or the energy in the quantum field. All right. So the first layer in terms of navigating a pandemic is having a way to purify everything that comes in. First, stay in Stillpoint, keep the quantum field open, and don't let a lot of things in, which I already was doing that for years. I'm not that attracted to going to restaurants and having people sit right next to me. My field, I've done a lot of work to and I don't necessarily want to bring in a lot of stuff in close. So I've, for a long while, liked to keep distance from things, from people, from things. I don't go out of my way to touch things. Anyone that has been around me, I'm a little unusual in that way, and so in any event, so it's good to keep in still points, keep the quantum field open, have a good spray to purify and clear. By the way, the laser, the violet light in the laser and the lotus are very good at purifying. Violet light neutralizes all kinds of pathogens. So if you have the lotus, you can put on quantum or activate and simply purify the field a lot. It's a very, very nice tool for assisting in that and keeping the thymus gland open as well. Second layer to address the pandemic is to keep the blood and is super strong. And to me, this is very common functional medicine or natural protocol, and I'm not going to get too into. You can kind of look around. I'm not going to get too, but there's several key things to keep the blood in a really strong place. And vitamin C, I like natural forms as best possible. Vitamin D, vitamin A, And then the fourth thing I add to that is grapefruit seed extract. Those to me, those things are super helpful right now. If you're around a lot of people, make sure you up your dose of vitamin C. Make sure you do vitamin A, vitamin D, and some grapefruit seed extract. And if you feel symptoms of any kind, that keeps your blood in your system very strong, less likely to get knocked around by any kind of situation. And if you feel certain symptomology, I'm more inclined to convey some of these. A little while ago, I had some flu symptoms. I'm not clear what it was. It was a little while ago, and I just hit the protocols that I do and went away in a day and a half, and what have you. And so it could have been, it might not have been. I'm not clear, and I'm not even that. To me, it's. I'll get in a moment too. So ramping up those supplements are very helpful if you feel any symptomology. Along with, we laser a lot on the thymus gland and the tip of the nose. If we ever have any kind of immune type response or anything like that, we do a lot of laser main unit or lotus over the thymus. Everyone again drop in, Stillpoint. You'll notice when in my life every so often 10, 15 minutes I pull my attention back from whatever and I reset. I get right back in Stillpoint. Even whatever, it's all good. It's information, yeah, great, and pull it back. I've trained my attention. I'm doing it in retreats and on calls. In my life, I'm always kind of, all right, good, that was nice, great, and I pull my attention back. Train your attention to rest and abide here. This is where to me, the juice is here. And they've done studies that it activates when you're here. It activates you intake nitric oxide, which blisses people out, and it activates longevity and immunity and longevity. So there's a lot of blessings from this state of. In India, they call it breathless state. Yogis call it breathless state. Some call space between the breath. I call Stillpoint. It's called whatever. All right. So all the things we make, everything is designed to help me and people to get here and abide here. That's kind of the essence of our whole. It's not really a company. It's our whole mission, what we do, what's going on here. So the first is keeping the field nice and purified. Second is keeping the blood strong. Again, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A. You'll see good protocols. There's some standard protocols, and grapefruit seed extract. Also really good in that respect to be eating good foods, eating lots of good, colorful vegetables, and spices, lots of spices and nice things. Eat good stuff right now. It's really helpful to keep the blood and system strong. Third key thing, from my perspective, is understanding the way I approach in a situation like this is from an epigenetics perspective. And without getting too fancy, so there's all kinds of interesting research coming out. Germ situations like this have been going on for going way back, and the human genome is in large part been affected and has in it all kinds of different germ situations from previous pandemics. So while this seems on the front side like really not good, and it is, it's very tough. A lot of things we've gotten in our progression on this planet, humans, is material they got from the genetics of different kinds of situations like this. And so epigenetics is the study of how to trend the genetic situation so it's more conducive to. This is how I at least approach it, to tune or shift the genetic situation to be more optimal for what's going on. And so in this situation, there's two things that are relative to this, right? One is to shift the genetic situation of the infection if you come in contact with it, and two is to continue to shift your own situation so that you progress, so you degrade the ability for the genetics of that infection to to coordinate to use your situation, and 2, that you optimize your own genetics to out leverage that particular situation. And so there's a whole lot of interesting research. And when I had some symptoms, I took a bunch of these things. There are like 5 or 6 key things that everyone should be, well, not even really, it's less than that. There's the key is a bunch of flavonoids and flavanols that are hugely, hugely beneficial from my perspective at addressing this particular, the way that this infection replicates, gets into the cell and replicates, without getting into too many fancy things around spike proteins and ACE receptors and furin and all these kinds. There's like 4 key ways that this infection gets in and replicates in cells. And there's some interesting research around there. So here are the key things that for me that we keep around and are hugely beneficial. The first one is quercetin. Quercetin, hugely beneficial. Probably one of the most, aside from the initial protocol things, if anyone feels any symptoms or flu-like symptoms, boost up quercetin. And in large part, you can get, if you don't have quercetin, you eat onions. Keep onions around. Onions are where you get quercetin, or a place you get quercetin. And you can saute them or cook them, and you'll get a ton of quercetin. The second key thing that is hugely beneficial is a constituent from green tea called EGCG. It's a constituent from green tea. It's a concentrate. It's a constituent hugely beneficial for shutting down the replication along with quercetin. And if you don't have EGCG, we've been getting some requests. We might start making a formula that has all these things, the powders that in a super scalar enhanced formula. If people have interest, we will make it. If people have interest about either our sprays or this, typically we make different technologies. We haven't made a lot of supplements, but if people have interest, reach out and we will consider starting to. We've been on a scale down. Our team, we've kind of had some working in different shifts and some working it out of there, not at the building. In any event, so quercetin, hugely beneficial. EGCG or green tea. If you make a big cup of strong green tea, you'll get EGCG. And then there's 4 other key flavonoids and flavanols that mostly you get from citrus. Mostly something called naringenin, luteolin, and then hesperidin and hesperidin. Four things. Each of them is also in research been found to be effective at shutting down this particular type of situation in the replication. And really, these things are not designed to destroy the thing. They're designed to change the genetic capability of this infection to be effective at replicating into your genetics, if that makes sense. So again, and the key thing, if you want to just keep it really simple, without even getting into the supplements, have lots of onions around, eat lots of onions, take onions if you feel any symptoms. You get all those last 4 that I mentioned, you can get all of them from oranges. So fresh squeezed orange juice gives you all of those other things, or grapefruit, or citrus stuff. And you get, so basically, onions, green tea, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't drink a lot of green tea. I find it hard on the adrenals. So I'm not drinking green tea at all. You can get EGCG. We have access to really good EGCG. You can get it at a lot of health food stores. And so I don't do green tea. I find it too stimulating on the adrenals. But the EGCG, I'm not taking that on, this stuff I'm not taking on a regular basis. When I felt some symptoms, I hit it hard with these things, and it totally helped shift the equation. This stuff doesn't only help with this; it's very beneficial. Again, quercetin, onions, EGCG, and then oranges, and to address those other flavonoids. So again, this is the third facet of this approach, that how we are approaching this. And again, this part again is not designed to destroy things. It's designed to from an epigenetics perspective. And then the last part, which I don't want to get too into, is having some different kinds of substances. Requires a little more kind of background or skill, and it's taking things that are actually more like not destructive, but it shuts down infection. Things like hydrogen peroxide or ozone or sodium chloride or magnesium chloride, or different things that really are about alchemy to shift or shut down something. And to me, that's kind of a last layer. And like, for example, there's a very good protocol online with someone who, a naturopath or an osteopath, someone who has a protocol for using food-grade hydrogen peroxide at 3%. If anyone ever plays around with hydrogen peroxide, food grade, don't use 35% if you buy it directly on the skin or in the body. It's much too strong. You have to 1 part 35% to 11 parts or something in that. You can look and check it out. Brings it down to about 3%. So I don't suggest messing around with some of these things unless you have or working with someone or have some good. This stuff is strong stuff. A lot of it is very harsh on the body and can be destructive to the body, and if used in the wrong way or if in some situations. So I don't want to get too into this section. Suffice to say that it's for if someone got a situation and it got not so good. This particular doctor gives a protocol for how to use steam and or vapor to take in hydrogen peroxide through breathing in to purify and get into the bloodstream. Suffice to say, so those are 4 different strategies. You had a lot of requests on what we're doing. And again, the most important thing right now, everyone take breath in. Stop right at the top. Reset. Each of those other things I mentioned in the last category have different views about it, positive, negative views. That some people like ozone, some people don't like ozone, some people like this one, they don't like this one. Yet to me, they're as a reference important for me. I have some different things that if I want to go after it and really knock something out, I didn't even do that stuff when I had a little kind of symptom. I just did the first and the first one. I didn't even use that stuff. I just hit hard on the vitamin C, vitamin D. I do a lot of grapefruit seed extract, a lot of vitamin C. I did the other things, and the symptoms shifted. All right, good. Everyone now take a moment, drop in. If you're using laser still, do the occipital ridge up at the back of the cranium. I'm on wave. I'm doing wave at the back of the occipital ridge. If you're using the pad, you might do. If you have the little pad's so nice. I hear so many nice testimonials. You can wrap it around a knee. You can wrap it around the tailbone area. There's so many different ways you can do it. You can place your face on it. All these pads are simply, gently activating and inducing subtle scalar energy. All right, good. So that's the adrenals, tailbone, occipital ridge. That's our unwind protocol. Just to recap for new folks, that protocol to me is key at if any of those 3 areas are tight on people or not unwound, it's hard to hold still point. So if you want to go through life and hold still point, and I tell you this, and folks who have been to our retreats, the key to activating the quantum field is holding still point. I always tell people the first step in our process is unwinding things. And how do you do that? You take the laser or the pad, you find the program that gives you still point response. And as soon as you have the thing that gives still point response, you do it until you unwind. It's like a rubber band. It's unwinding. And then when it's unwinded, It's just resting there in still point. Well, whatever you're unwinding, an adrenal gland, a tailbone, your cranium, your whole experience on the pad, you allow it to unwind until you rest in still point. Then you're done with that session. First step in our process, unwinding things. Second step, dropping in still point. For those who are resting, I'm in still point right now. Notice as you rest here in still point, for me something shifted a while ago, and now, see if you notice right there, I'm not in still point anymore. Now I'm in the quantum field. And see if you can notice difference. I'm not holding still point. Now the quantum field is holding me. Still point's holding. I'm simply resting here. That's when the quantum field opens. It's a really powerful moment. The whole progression into the new season. It's just started. We're still in the dissolution of the previous structures from the previous age. So really good right now to stay in your own condition. Don't try too hard with other people. Everyone's going through this process. This process is happening, and the things on the outer are getting whipsawed around. And so really important to dig in and do the fight on the outer. There's important issues that are going on, and it's a profound opportunity right now for change, for transformation, for honesty about what has been going on, and for people taking responsibility or the ability to respond differently to things, to participate in finding new resources and new solutions that are affirming to everyone's state of being, in integrity and coherence. In other words, one of the things I learned from the yogi, one of the things that he said that really had a big impression on me, he said once that the essence of the path of love is never to intimidate anyone and never to be intimidated by anyone. And to me, that is such a powerful, to me that is the essence of staying in neutrality. Don't trip anyone else up, don't judge, don't put your trip on anybody else, and don't let other people put their trip on you. Coming from a place of neutral is about expressing your own essence and freedom of your own expression. And it's also about inviting and allowing other people to have their own expression. To me, our planet's going through this massive shift because there's a lot of things on the planet from the previous age that were not working. They were coming from a linear diffraction and polarity, and they were destructive to our planet, to nature, to different groups and tribes of people. And so the opportunity here is that there is a planetary reset to not just jump in and go back at it, rather like things like there's all these things that are starting to happen that could really, 5G is a very, very, very deleterious thing. Millimeter, I heard people say, there's these connections between 5G and this pandemic, and that doesn't make any sense. And how it makes a lot of sense. It's not like how it seems. It's not like, it literally makes it. No, what millimeter 5G radiation does, for years they've been aware, researchers, that it shuts down the little channels that go into the cell, the receptor and sodium channels that go in where there's transport in and out of the cell. Well, 5G destroys those receptors, which leads to inflammation and all kinds of other health issues. And the way that connects to this condition is that the way that this particular situation gets into the cell is through those receptors. The ACE2, those receptors that get shut down are the very mechanism when they're not functioning properly for the way that this particular infection gets into the cells. So, or a way that it gets into the cells. And so 5G is highly destructive. And by the way, I changed to quantum. Go to quantum or activate, and I have the laser off the body. I have it probably like arm length, and I'm simply moving around the field. Really important to purify not only the body. Our technologies are designed to purify also the outer the layers of the quantum field. So when you do this, you can go around and clear any blockages or holes or cords in your energetic field. The key is to have a strong energetic field. And I'll mention where I've been, even though in retreat a lot, I've also been popping out to or working on some new technologies. And so as folks are aware, we have the new pads right now and the Ormus sprays. And we're about to come out in the coming weeks. We'll probably do a pre-launch. There's a couple of new things I'll mention briefly. One is a new, we call it the scalar portal. It's a handheld, it's like the part of the laser without the head. It's got a screen. It's got the same kind of buttons, and it's designed to. It's a beautiful case, and it's designed to. It's got more programs, so it's got the more programs than the ones that come on the laser. Alchemy. There's a lot of alchemy and purification and yogic longevity, really cool things. And it's designed to plug in. It's going to come with, there's also these very nice, everyone take a moment, drop in Stillpoint. There's these really cool plates we've made, scalar charging plates to charge foods and supplements and water. We're using a unique scalar technology to charge things, and it's not totally set, but I'm leaning towards having these wood plates. They're really beautiful, and they plug into the scalar portal. The scalar portal can also plug in to the pads. So the pads plug into the portal. There's a bunch of, you can plug in more than one. You can charge things on the scalar plates. We've been charging a lot of the foods and things that we do with scalar energy, things like salt or coconut oil. We're doing a lot of really, what you put into the body right now is so key. So this is a really good moment for anyone wanting to cleanse and detox and to really kick in super immunity and longevity. And so we're going to be coming out with we're going to be most likely doing more regular trainings as we come out with these products. With lots of protocols and cleansing protocols, purification, quantum field protocols. So the charging plates are a way to charge up and activate, and we're also looking at launching a supplement line with some of the stuff that I mentioned earlier. And then, because I don't really like the vitamin versions of a lot of those things. I like to get concentrated, natural form, organic kind of in living form, not in laboratory form. And so we're looking at supplements. We're also looking at a range of supplements that are. We have another Ormus in addition to the scalar sprays. lotus sprays. We have another ormus that we're working on, and we're gonna have ormus in the supplements. For example, there'll be a supplement for minerals, a really unique mineral formula, one for enzymes, one for amino acids, one for a kind of unique, some other ones for longevity and for subtle yogic. It's not a lot of supplements, just detox formula, and so just key ones that we're taking to help really get all the key things that the body and the subtle state that helps to activate the still point and the yogic state and longevity and being. So stay tuned. So again, the new stuff coming is the portal, the scalar charging plates, and some supplements. The scalar portal can also be used with the pads. It can be used with the Wi-Fi. Oh, and there's one other piece. There's actually two other pieces. There's a little kind of thing that plugs into the portal that's a new way. It's a scalar tuner. It's using a new technology we are developing. We just it's really cool. It uses pure scalar energy to tune things. So it's unique is all I can say. It's very unique. And then we're also taking another new scalar technology. I've been looking for a way to offset the Wi-Fi works beautifully to condition homes and situations, and it works for 5G also. And yet I've been looking for something to work in coordination with the Wi-Fi. You might want to shift. I just changed to activate. Occasionally you'll use a program either on the pad or in the Wi-Fi. This is how we change on all of it. We'll use one. At a certain point you might feel like, oh, okay, there's something. And then you go and you try to go through and you see which one, kind of like TV. You don't just watch one station nonstop, right? After a while you say, oh, let's check out. And the one that kind of, this is, using these technologies is a way to practice noticing right away when something induces still point response. And I tell you, that is so valuable. When you become really effective at noticing what things induce and drop you into still point, then you go through life, and in my life, I simply choose the things that drop me in still point. What are the things that open up and induce me to reset back into the neutral state? The neutral state, still point, is the neutral state of the energy of the universe. Prana, chi, scalar, it's all the same thing. It's the nonlinear state of energy. And so when you drop in here to still point, you shift from the physical, from the emotional, from the psychic. All those states are linear. They require you to be not part of they require you to be outside, not. When you drop in still point, all those other states collapse, and you are woven into the vaster state. So the first step in the yogic process is to shift out of the linear. The person, or the whatever name you want to give it, is operating physical, emotional, psychic. That's all linear. It's coming from the past. Injuries, cell memory, emotion, stress, all those things are linear fixations. Shifting that and coming back to neutral is how we dissolve karma. Karma is polarity. Things that coming from the past and happens again. It's so many people go through life, they're holding on to injuries, emotions, beliefs, judgments, and then they keep replaying those things. Things show up that are reflecting that. It's projection. Practicing the art of dissolving things and resetting in neutral, clearing things, dissolute, dissolving, and then is how we collapse those things, and ultimately how we then reset and start to move from being, not from the person that was in the past, from being the future. Not even the future. It's being. It's not from the past. It's from who we truly are. Still point to me is the door. It's the gateway. It dissolves things and it opens up, so the quantum field opens, and ultimately expression and being Good work, everyone. A lot going on. Take moments to drop in, to reset, to grab the laser, to clear the field. Now, I'm still doing the field. I'm simply moving it around and letting it sit in different areas behind the body, above the body, below the body. There's one other technology which is there's the tuner, the scalar tuner, which is a unique approach to scalar, and then there's another technology where it's like the Wi-Fi, only we're going higher up towards. There's a lot of technologies right now that are using 3G to 4G to 5G. It used to be things were around 2. Now they're ranging up. Things like smart meters and routers and cable boxes and 5G. They're all in the range of up 4G, 5G. And so the successive signal is a real challenge. And while the Wi-Fi works great to condition, help keep people in still point and soften, I've been working on something that goes a little higher up and then collapses and works on helping to induce the ether to not. What 5G does is it's disruptive to the ether. When you go out in nature and there's great, you feel so good by the ocean or on a mountain, the ether is charged. 5G is disruptive to that ether, and so this new technology is beautiful. It's so nice. It's smaller, and I'm designing one that's a smaller version of the Wi-Fi. It's not smaller. It's not the same technology. It's different, and it's designed to work with the Wi-Fi to also neutralize 5G or not to totally neutral. It's designed to help induce the ether and to help keep people in still point. Similar to the Wi-Fi, it's unique. And we're also looking at some portable tools for people to wear and to have around to keep the quantum field strong and to help offset the effects of some of this stuff, 5G and things that are going on. So stay tuned. We're going to be updating soon about some of these newer things that are going on. Everyone, go ahead and everyone take another nice big breath in. And stop right at the top. Hold for a moment. Good moment to do a little protocol. You might want to turn laser off or whatever you're using off and just drop in still point. Let's do one protocol without just rest here in still point for a moment. When I rest in still point, for me, when I'll often hold it like if I'm holding still point, I drop in still point, and I often liken it to like if you ever fill up air in a tire, you hold it's like, everyone take breath in, stop right here, hold. Kind of like if you put that nozzle to fill up the air and you hold it. If you go too much one way, air comes out. If you go the other way, if you hold it right in the middle with care, the tire fills. When I drop in still point, I often just hold right here with care. And notice, see if you notice, like I feel the field, quantum field starting to open and fill in. See if you notice. Good, right there, just like, and at a certain moment, it doesn't take long, like right there, it just stopped. My field fluffed open. See if you notice. Now I'm not resting in still point. Now the field is kind of holding me. That's how I open up the field. Like by quantum field, I mean the field of envelope of energy that surrounds you, not the larger field. That's we're just opening up the quantum field. So now that you're resting here, now envision one of those laser sabers, like from the movies. You can do it with the laser too, though. Envision one of those laser sabers and just go around and clear anything, clear any holes, any blockages. Clear from any people you've been relating to, any issues, any challenges you've been having. From any things that are holding on to your chakras or your energy field, very gently. Even loved ones, we're not clearing from them. We're just clearing from polarized energy. We're not saying we're not going to be there. People often say, should they do from their loved ones? I say, definitely. We're not saying we're not there for them. We're saying we're not there for them from the place of an energy. A lot of people connect through the chakras with energy, and so we're clearing those. And we're saying we're going to be there for you from a place of neutrality, which is so much, it's better for them, it's better for you, it's better for everyone. Once you do this, you could do this, you might go back and clear from people that aren't around anymore. Clear from situations, could be clear from a work situation. You can clear your house this way. You can clear from anything. All right, good. I just reset. When I'm doing a process, I wait till I drop in, like I dropped in Stillpoint. That says to me, okay, good, we just cleared that. And I do every day. I take a moment at numerous points throughout the day. I drop in Stillpoint, open up the field. I clear around the outside. People in the last age have been trained to hold on through the chakras. So you just got to train it otherwise. It's not a big deal. It's not you clear it, you reset, and you train your attention to not be always holding on to things or having other things hold on to you. A lot of healers and people that are always helping, they're often, it's good. It's good to clear and reset. Good. And it's always good to, I will do one more process now. As you're resting here in Stillpoint and in the field, now squeeze the root at the base of the spine. It's like the same muscle you just go to the restroom. Squeeze in and then out. And then squeeze in gently and out. Squeeze in and out. Now this go around on the in, stop right in between the in and the out. And hold. Gently. Yogis say it's like holding an egg. Yogis like holding an egg. Not too tight or you crush, not too loose or you drop. As soon as I hold that very gently, loosen it up a little, you might feel energy coming up the spine. Right away when I do it, I feel energy start to flow upwards. This is how we reverse the sensory currents. As soon as I do, I feel energy start to go up. This energy purifies the nadis, the channels, the chakras. And right away I start to feel tongue at the roof of the mouth. You might feel a little saliva at the back inside. That saliva, yogis say they call it amrita, or nectar, or ambrosia. That saliva has all kinds of ormus and all kinds of nice things that activate. See if you notice the energy comes up to activates the subtle nectar, ambrosia, goes up to the crown. This very subtle yogic practice we cover in our retreats. You might open, you might rest and activate, squeeze the root again, in, out, hold again. You might feel energy come up and go to the heart chakra. The goal of this is to help purify and then to open up. Maybe that now is a good moment, open up a new area. Maybe that area has some new resources for what's going on right now, to help. This is how every day we take a moment and we clear the things, and then we start to do the work with you can use laser, you can use pad, you can use the sprays. When you do this, you can do a little spray at the top of the top or here to help tune the subtle yogic state. It's a situation on the planet. It's a tough moment, and yet it's also, as in a lot of tough moments. Yogi, learned from, always said, the tough things are where there's some blessing there. What's the opportunity now to slow things down? So right away, again, energy up the spine, squeeze the root up the spine, tongue at the roof, open up, lotus. Beautiful. That's a very easy process. Drop in. Step 1, drop in Stillpoint. Step 2, open quantum fields. Then activate the energy along the spine. Then tongue at the roof, activate the ambrosia and the lotus. And now, again, we did a clear the field, then act up the end of the spine. activate the ambrosia and the lotus, and now reset, drop right back in still point. After I do practice, we're not doing long, fancy practice. This is simple, easy. We do for a moment, then reset. I don't activate this and then go and interact with everyone, right? No, I'd come back, I drop in still point, I reset the experience. For me, I always reset back still point. Then I go and I interact with people. All right, everyone. This has been a nice treat and blessing to get a moment to get to interact with you. I'm sorry I haven't done more lately. We've been on the road for a lot of years, and so in any event, much love and aloha to all of you, and we'll be doing more soon. So again, aloha. Thank you. Bye-bye.